Hi, thank you for watching Become Involved, a series focusing upon Merrimack's committees and boards. My name is Nancy Harrington, and I'm one of the 7 town councilors here in Merrimack. Today, we're going to be speaking with John Calabro, who's the president of the Merrimack Youth Association, also known as MYA. But before we start the conversation, I want to be able to help you understand there's a little difference between MYA and some other committees. The MYA is a group of volunteers that are really independent from the town. They have their own boards, executive boards, and the town does not make decisions for them. Now, they do fall under Parks and Recreation only because they have to schedule the fields that they use for the various sports with Parks and Rec. DPW also helps maintain some of the field, and a lot of MYA does that as well. The other thing is that the school department, they also have to work with to be able to schedule for the gymnasiums. So I just wanted to be able to help you understand that they're a little bit different than the other committees and boards. And with that, we can probably start the conversation, John. Thank you very much for coming.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And I suppose we can just jump in and have some questions for you. The first thing is, can you tell me a little bit about the MYA in terms of what's the goals and what's the purpose of the MYA?
Sure. So the MYA, Merrimack Youth Association, as you said, started in 1968, quite a few years ago, with a bunch of parents who were very interested in putting together organized sports for their children to play. It's been an all-volunteer organization ever since. It's been, over the years, an excellent parental community of volunteers. And overall, the way we are set up and we operate is we have an executive board that kind of manages or oversees all of the sports. And then each of the individual sports have their own boards that work their sport in terms of scheduling and teams and things like that. Very much a partnership of involved parents that want to make sure they put on good, solid programs for the good of their children.
Excellent. Can you tell me what kind of sports, for example, that you have within the MYA?
Yeah, so at the moment we offer 7 different sports. We have baseball, basketball, football, cheer, lacrosse, soccer, girls softball, and fairly recently a wrestling program. So 7 different individual sports. All of them run from the first grade level, or even some of the kindergarten level, pretty much all the way up through the middle school age level, some degree in order to prepare kids for high school sports and things like that. Basketball and soccer do offer a high school rec level league for kids that just want to play, that maybe aren't making the school teams, but they just want to play, and that's what we're trying to foster. Teamwork, fun, cooperation, community is what we're after. The way we do that is we actually allow children to play in the appropriate age group so that the children get to know each other in their particular grade, and to some degree the parents of those children get together while they're watching and they're on the sidelines. Then you tend to meet lots of friendly people from town, and personally myself, I'm still friends with many people that I met through my son's basketball team. The way we organize kids is each sport will have a registration process, and then they register, and then the board and the coaches come together and they make teams, and off they go.
Speaking of coaches, how do you get coaches and do you pay them?
Yeah, so again, we're an all-volunteer organization all the way down to the coaching level. Parents that are interested in coaching typically their own children's teams or their age bracket will sign up during registration. And it's 18 years or older. You just simply have to be over 18 years. There's really no experience necessary. Primarily, we're a recreation league. It's about some learning of sports. It's about fun. It's about building self-esteem for the children. And it's a very rewarding experience. The boards tend to have an annual voting process. And if you're interested in joining a board, you can make yourself known to MYA or the particular sport and the particular position you'd want to go for. And they run elections annually to make sure that there's a good amount of parents that are involved so that everyone can contribute to making an excellent program.
Excellent. I just want to address something that you've said that I just want to emphasize. You mentioned about parental community. For anyone who's new to Merrimack, this is a wonderful opportunity to be able to meet parents of the same age as your children. Personally, I had 2 children who went through the MYA, as most adults had children who went through the MYA. And that's how you really became much more familiar with not only Merrimack in general, but you really had lifelong friends. And also the kids became friends with, and what might be different is if the child is not super athletic, they might not make a team in the school.
Correct.
But they know the kids who are, and they become friends outside of sports and continue with that.
That's correct. We focus not only on the sport,
Right.
and maybe getting a little better in the particular sport as you play through the year. A big part of it is self-esteem
Right.
of the children. There's nothing like I'll just phrase it, the worst kid on the team learning as much as they can learn, but as you mentioned, becoming friends with everyone on the team,
right.
so they can say hello to each other in school
Exactly right.
and feel confident in themselves going forward. That's what we strive for. Even outside the sport, it's about a fun, safe atmosphere for the kids. And most of the parents that volunteer to coach and help coordinate, it's quite a rewarding experience I've found in my own personal years on the board.
Quick question about the coaches. Do you really have to know a lot about coaching or the sport? Or because I can see some parents hesitating, well, I don't know how to play baseball. But if I remember correctly, there used to be like 2 coaches or assistant coaches.
Yeah.
And one really knew the game and the other one was just to be able to help out and stuff.
Sure.
Is that the same?
You really don't, no experience needed.
Okay.
All you really need is a willingness to want to help, want to be a part of the growth of kids, which is quite rewarding. And you're correct in that usually out of a coaching team, there's one who really knows the sport and the others follow along. Sports is not that hard.
Right.
And pretty much it doesn't take much. I've given an example. As long as you know the ball is round, you're ready to join in.
And you use your feet or your hands.
Yeah,
Either
correct.
way. Okay, I did want to provide an opportunity for you too. I think I've gone into stores and I've seen little plaques of a thank you from the MYA for sponsoring. I also know at the field, the baseball field, you have a lot of
Yeah, banners.
banners. Thank you.
Right.
And do you want to speak to how does that happen?
Yeah, so each sport will do some fundraising because we're an all-volunteer organization. We're a not-for-profit organization. We get some funding from the town, much appreciated. We do a lot of fundraising. As part of that, a lot of the local businesses will join our team as a sponsor,
Okay.
which is a few short dollars, not too much money. And typically, like you said, we'll put up a banner or they'll get a plaque with the team picture on it.
Okay.
And as you see that around town, it just
That's
builds
right.
the community. Those are
right.
very nice to see.
Right.
I've seen some that are, 1972 still
right.
up on the wall, and it's
right.
very rewarding to me to see that.
And I've made comments on occasion. Oh, I see that you support MYA.
Correct.
Appreciate that. So I think as a community, it would be nice to be able to reinforce that as well.
Right.
Excellent. Okay. Is there anything you want to be able to emphasize as we finish up?
Right. So one thing I'd like to say, we have a website. We call it the MYA website. Very easy to find. If you Google MYA, you will come to our website very quickly. Officially, it's called MerrimackYouthAssociation.com. And from that core website, you can get to the individual sports websites. We have it all linked together, so you can get information there. If you want to call, our phone number is 603-424-7759. Leave a message, and someone will get back to you, either myself or someone from the particular sport you're interested in. So we're very easily accessible. We have a building right down the street, the MYA building, that we meet at and use for equipment storage and things like that. It's been an excellent organization over the years. I'm proud to be a part of it. I've been a bit around for 15 years or so, and enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming here And I'm glad you had the opportunity to look for volunteers and
Yes.
provide information about the MYA.
Yes, thanks for having me. Volunteerism is really what it's all about. It's very important in the fact that it helps us keep our costs down, our registration fees down.
Right.
Some people want to play a sport, but they don't want to kick out $500. They want to kick out $50. And that's all we need, really, to let the kid have a nice, fun environment to play and grow.
Great.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me.
Very good. Thank you very much, John, for coming. I appreciate you spending time to help explain about the MYA and all the details that will be helpful for information for the community.
Great.
I want to thank you for watching Become Involved. You have been provided the information for the website for MYA, but there's also a town website which you can also go to, merrimacknh.gov. And remember, this is what the series is about. Become involved.